Hi, this is Brantley with Foolish IT, and we're back with another CryptoPrevent quick tip. This time we're going to go over any issues that might prevent CryptoPrevent from starting, or basically you can't get to this screen here, which is the main interface GUI. Some other options it might cover is instead of saying free or premium edition here, you might get the no internet detected banner. So we'll cover majority of the issues that cause that and go over how to fix them in this video. So the first thing to note is you do want to have your Windows fully up to date, and you can check that by going into Control Panel on Windows 7, Windows Update, and then checking for updates. It would be highly recommended that you also have your Windows set to automatically update when updates are available. That would have helped prevent part of that WannaCry ransomware issue. But it also adds a lot of other security fixes and updates to your system. But it would be recommended to have all the updates done on your system before installing CryptoPrevent. Mainly that'll also make sure that Windows has the .NET 4 client profile installed. Now that was included with Windows 8 and up, but Windows XP and Windows 7 you would have to go through and install all your available Windows updates to get that one, or you can download and install the Redistributable package, which is at this link here, and we'll post that link down in the description. Otherwise, for Windows 10, it is normally set to automatically check for updates, but if you want to check it, you can go into your Start button, your settings here, and then when this window opens, you can go into Update and Security, and then check for updates here. Again, Windows 10 is normally set to automatically pull updates there, so you should be fine. Windows XP, they don't have updates. Same thing for Windows Vista now. But you can go in and Vista is pretty much similar to Windows 7 on checking for updates. With Windows XP, you can't use the Windows Update site easily anymore. So you would have to enable automatic updates and allow that to download all of your updates. And you do want to make sure that your Windows XP is on SP3 and has all of its updates applied. So past that, the other item that might cause it so that CryptoPrevent can't start up or get internet would be if the .NET installation is corrupted, and Microsoft has a tool for that, and I'll post the link down in the description below, but the Microsoft .NET Framework Repair tool, and we'll go through and run that so you can see what happens there. So we'll just say next here. And then it recommends trying to reinstall if the issue keeps occurring. And if not, then we'll go ahead and try a fix. And it's going to try to fix that. And this process can take several minutes. Alright, now that the tool has finished, it asks you to retry the installation again, and if that works, then you can go ahead and say finish. So it kind of puts it into a loop here, trying to repair, trying to have it reinstalled, repair, reinstall. Once it fully completes installation, if you are using that, you can go ahead and say finish, or after the repair, you can probably go ahead and say finish and try launching CryptoPrevent again. Now, the last item is the most common issue, and that is the Microsoft Visual C++ 2010 redistributable package. Currently, CryptoPrevent depends heavily on this for internet connection and a lot of the other features that run in CryptoPrevent. So you would need to make sure that this is installed and uncorrupted. CryptoPrevent will actually try to install this if it's not detected. Otherwise, if it is detected and corrupted, you may have to uninstall and then reinstall. And to uninstall it on Windows 7, you would go into the control panel. I prefer the small icons here. I forgot to mention that on the update, but usually you'll probably have these categories. Honestly, I am not a big fan of the categories, so I usually would switch over to icons. That makes it easy to get to Windows Update and to your programs and features. We can see it's installed here, so you would just want to uninstall it and then reinstall it using the link in the description below. That way you can manually install it, see if any errors or anything come up during the install. If not, then you can try opening CryptoPrevent again. It should detect it and should open up from there and not give you internet connection issues or any other problems on that side of things. Windows 10, it is a little bit different for the uninstall side. So you have two options here. You can right click on your start menu, go to programs and features, and that will give you the older Windows 7 style uninstaller, and you can uninstall it that way. Or if you go into Windows settings and then into system and apps and features, then you can find it in your list of items installed here, and then uninstall it and then reinstall it using that link as we showed below. So last final thing that does not happen often but might be a cause of issue is if the actual registration information in CryptoPrevent has been corrupted or is giving you errors. Usually these relate to time-date errors. To fix that, you do have to do a little bit advanced, so if you don't feel comfortable with that, you might want to contact a qualified technician, but it involves going into the registry editor, and in Windows you can just go into your start menu and search for regedit and then run it. And you do want to say yes if you get a UAC prompt. Then you'll browse to local machine, software, Foolish IT, CryptoPrevent, and you can right click and just delete this entire key. And then when you open up CryptoPrevent again, it will recreate that. It will ask you for your product key information again if it doesn't detect it otherwise on the system. CryptoPrevent does put the product key in a text file in your documents for that system, but if it doesn't detect it, it'll ask for your product key and you will re-enter it and reapply your settings from there. Normally that's the only more difficult issue, but if you run into something like that or none of these fixes solve your issue, definitely feel free to reach out to us at support@foolishit.com. We'll be more than happy to assist further from there. Thanks everybody for watching, and hope you stay safe out there.